There's a lot of stories in a bottle of whiskey.
I see you have Ron Swanson's whiskey of choice, the Lagavulin 16 there. I was wondering if I could sample that perhaps.
Absolutely. You good with that?
I'm game.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Lagavulin is an Islay. You can see that there's been 1 or 2 tastings out of that one.
A couple, yeah.
Yep. So, this is a Lagavulin 16-year-old, and it is been in a barrel for 16 years. Now, whiskey this is a single malt, and a single malt consists of 3 ingredients: water, yeast, and malted barley. And only 3 ingredients to be a single malt, and to be a single malt Scotch whiskey has to have only 3 ingredients, made in Scotland and aged in oak for a minimum of 3 years and 1 day. So this has been in a barrel for 16 years, and it's just waiting for you for this moment. All right, so are you ready? Now, what I like to do is, because it's a real cork, I hold it upside down. I learned that from Sam at the Whiskey Castle in Tomantoul. And then you smell the cork.
I've never seen that before, the holding it upside down. Is that just to get the aroma on the cork?
That's to get the cork moisturized so that sometimes the corks will dry out.
Okay.
And just pour a wee little bit, about a ½ ounce, or about a 15 ml pour.
If you accidentally pour extra for me, I won't object.
Now the process is just start to swirl, and it's a proper glass, and start to appreciate the fact that this whiskey is a result of generations of whiskey making. This one comes from the Islay Islands in Scotland, in Western Scotland, famous for their heavily peated, smoky whiskies. By law, it has to be a minimum of 40%.
To be classified as a Scotch whiskey, or
any whiskey.
Okay.
The other interesting thing is, you'll notice that this says whiskey with a Y, not an EY. This whiskey is made in Scotland, and it doesn't have an E in the word Scotland. Canada does not have an E, so hence whiskey. The Americans spell their whiskey EY.
EY.
Because it's the United States, there's an E in the United States. And the Irish spell their whiskey EY.
EY.
So if you've ever wondered what the difference is, that's the difference. All right, so looking at this, what would you say that color is?
It's like a golden amber.
Yes, now look at the legs as they start to come down. They've come down, and there's these nice, fatty, juicy drops that are just starting to go down. And it's just so interesting to watch that. That's the mark of a complex whiskey that's had a lot of oak infused in. And the interesting thing about the oak is the whiskey sitting in the oak goes into the wood, and it gets some of the ingredients from the oak, brings it back into the glass. This is a bourbon barrel made of white oak from Kentucky, and it is charred. So they actually have a fire inside this barrel, and you get this nice deep charcoal layer. And the whiskey that's in the barrel, it's going in and out of the oak as the temperature increases and decreases. When it goes in, it's filtered, goes in, it picks up some of the sugars and some of the volatiles and some of the fats and constituents from the oak, and then it comes back through the filter into the barrel when it cools. So there's this, and then some of it does get evaporated, and that is what they call the angel share. Now, this is white oak, And they use white oak because oak is ring porous, and there are little parenchyma spider-like cells within the pores called tyloses. And this slows down the drinking of the spirit by the barrel. This is a Spanish oak from Spain, and it is been toasted in an oven. So it's a different procedure. The pores are a little bit thinner, but it does also have tyloses. So a lot of whiskeys are stored and matured in white oak barrels from Kentucky, and then they're finished in a sherry. This is an Oloroso sherry cask made of Spanish oak. So there was sherry in here previously, and the oak also picks up, or the whiskey picks up some of the sherry that was in the oak. So you're getting a bourbon influence and you're getting a sherry influence. The wood makes the whiskey. You can't have whiskey without wood. So we're looking at this, we're swirling it around. We can appreciate now. We want to go in with our nose. Just gently. Okay, now a little deeper. What are you starting to smell in this one?
Happiness.
It smells almost like a fire or something.
The whiskey is whispering to him already. Did you hear his answer? Happiness. That's an example of whispering whiskey. I don't script this stuff. It just comes out and it makes you happy. And there's laughter in the room. That's one of the magical things about whiskey. What are you getting on your nose?
Yeah, still for me, it's like an open fireplace or something.
Yes, yes, yes. You're getting the campfire smell, the earthy. There's peat in Scotland is what they use to stop the malting process, and they burn peat, and that peat smoke goes through the barley kernels, and so we're starting to smell that. Oh, it's just, we're gonna have a deep down to earth conversation.
So the use of peat actually impacts the flavor?
Yes.
The burning of it?
Yes, yes.
Infuses the flavor?
And also the water filters through the peat.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, are we ready to taste? Not yet. What I want you to do, I'm teasing you a little bit. I want you to now try something that may or may not work for you. I want you to nose it with your mouth open. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. Some people can do it, because what we're doing now is we're opening up the sides of our tongue. Look at the connection you're having. This is probably one of the deepest connections you've ever had with whiskey. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
You're doing a really good job. And you've been to one of my classes before,
I have.
so. But, all right, now, are you, I'm still getting that burnt smell. I'm getting a little bit of antiseptic, iodine, sea salt, briny, seaweed. Oh, just a tad of citrus just kind of following around the nose.
Yeah, that's lovely.
All right, are you ready? Cheers.
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 Cheers. Solange to optimum health. Now just 3 sips.
Yep.
First sip, I want only a third of that. So just, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold it in the front of your mouth for, they say, and I don't know who they are, they say 1 second for every year old it is. That's too long. That's 16 seconds. But you wanna keep it in the front of your mouth. You can play with it. You can be like, you know, just smack your lips, chew it, do whatever you want. And then just slowly let it find its way back.
Okay.
Are we ready? You've already. All right. What flavors are you getting out of that?
Oh, there's some sweetness. I like it warm.
That sweetness wasn't on the nose, so was it? Because sometimes
No, not
whiskey,
at all.
you'll smell honey, you'll smell maple syrup. But there's a sweetness there. There's a nice, gentle heat. What else are you getting on the palate here on the first one? We've just woken up taste buds. The second one.
Yeah, it's amazing how different it tastes as opposed to how it smells. Like,
Yes. Did that surprise you?
yeah, very
Yeah.
much.
Now this is a very complex, very full whiskey. This is not a light starter whiskey that's going to just, vanish. This grabs your mouth and says hello.
Yeah, this is a serious whiskey.
Yes, and the neat thing about this is you don't need a lot. Like, you just need a little bit, and if you battled that with one other whiskey, it's all you need in a night, just because it's really all you need. So one of the things that people are telling me, my readers are telling me, people who have been to my class are telling me that they have more appreciation for whiskey and they're drinking less. So how cool is that? That they're appreciating more and their whiskey's lasting longer. So second sip, now our taste buds are woken up.
Yeah.
See how we're starting to connect on a deep level with this? Okay, now. What did you notice on that one?
Why does the second one taste different than the first?
The second sip tastes different than the first because your taste buds weren't woken up. Now, if this were a proper class, I'd have had a beer as a palate cleanser because whiskey is almost distilled beer, and that cleans out your palate, gets everybody on the same page.
Getting that warmth on the second one for sure.
Yes, the warmth. Did you get more caramel on the second one? I got more caramel and more cinnamon, which is fascinating all on its own because the first sip is different than the second sip.
Far richer.
Far richer on the second one because our mouth is now ready.
Well, that's what I'm noticing the texture a lot more too. Like the first one, I don't know.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a drop of water. And this is going to be very fascinating. Right, so there's one drop of water. Just spin that around a little bit. And now remember I don't know who they are, but they say that they would like us to leave this for 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying about 15 seconds to get the water, the one drop, to infuse in all of the molecules. However, I just think that it's
I don't have that kind of patience.
no. And well, I think my second or third musing in the book is patience.
Oh.
And whiskey does teach us patience.
Is that a thing too? Like I know, like with wine or something like that, you're supposed to let it sort of breathe for a bit before you enjoy it. Is that something?
Yes. What happens is you'll have an initial burst of volatiles, and then they'll head out, and then the other ones that will come out later. So yeah, there's an oxidation that goes on, but it's still, it depends on how much you have in the bottle, and that when your bottle gets right down near the end, you want to just, get rid of that as quick as possible, and then get another bottle.
I like that attitude.
Yeah.
That's a
All right.
good attitude.
So last one, our third sip. This is with water. Have a nose on that. See if it changed the nose. Is that nose different now?
I struggled with the measurements.
Okay, I can see that.
I
Yeah.
think I overshot my 5 milligram.
Okay. 5 milliliter sip. That's good. All right. So, anyways, what I'm finding on this nose is it's not as smoky now as it was, and I'm just getting.
A little subdued.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that fascinating. One drop of water can do that much to a nose, and wait till you taste it. All right, so this is our last taste. So cheers.
Cheers.
To your health.
Way different.
Is that mind equals blown or what?
Ah, for
One drop
sure.
of water.
Wow, eh?
much sweeter that time.
What's doing that? What's changing the flavor so much? Like,
Well, I'm going to call it the alchemy in a glass. There's so many different complex reactions that are going on that it's really hard to pinpoint. But I believe that one drop of water on your third sip is just to have that difference is enhancing the experience, not taking away from it.
I would attest to that.
Yeah, some people think that it takes away any water in it, but one drop, third sip, glorious. Now, we've done sight, we've done the nosing, we've done the tasting, the feel in your mouth, the mouth feel, right? Kind of came in, warmed your mouth up,
Yep.
went down, but didn't come up and slap you in the head.
No, not at all.
No, and that's the mark of a good whiskey. A bad whiskey, or if you don't do it right, will come up and just kind of beat you up a little bit. We've all had whiskey like that. Yes, 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 yes. It'll have its ways. Now, what haven't we done? What messages are you getting from this whiskey? He said happy. That was obvious. That was kind of an interesting one. What are you getting?
Ron Swanson knows his whiskeys.
All right, there you go. There's a lot of stories in a bottle of whiskey. And no good story ever started with a salad.